All right, YouTube, we are back at it today with another video. In today's video, I'm be giving you guys an updated review of the New Balance 1890. Actually, I have both colorways here of the Action Bronsons. This is the Action Bronson collab. Also, I wanted to make this video because I know the 1890 is a brand new silhouette from New Balance, and I know there's some GR colorways coming out. So if any of you guys are curious and picking up the GRs or these Bronsons, I figured I'd make an updated review because I did go to Orlando. Hence the magic hat right here. I actually picked this up on my trip. Pretty cool hat in my opinion. Anyways, I did go to Universal and Disney and I wore the Hornet Tusk pair both days when I went to Universal and Disney. Walked around 20 miles in these, no joke. So I figured I would have enough info to give you guys an updated review. And also, right before I left for the trip, the Cyborg Tears colorway actually came in. I probably would have brought these on my trip if I didn't have my bag already packed. I didn't feel like moving around stuff. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to wear these too much. However, I did wear these to the gym today. But before we begin, as always, please feel free to hit the like and subscribe and to see how I style all my sneakers and outfits. Go check out my Instagram. Posted a few fit pics in the New Balance 1890, the Hornet Tusk colorway from my trip. So if you want to see how I style them, go check out the Instagram. But anyways, let's get into the review. Before we begin though, you guys gotta let me know which colorway is your favorite, Cyborg Tears or the Hornet Tusk. I'm honestly torn between the two. I really like both. I think they're both pretty unique. I love the way this blue looks on the Cyborg Tears, especially with the purple tongue and the purple laces and the hits of red. Banger colorway right here. But then the Hornet's Tusk, you just got those hits of gold on the back, the royal blue New Balance, the white. Definitely a fun shoe to style. This colorway will also be fun to style, but definitely I think these are a little bit more wearable than this colorway. But you guys let me know what your favorite colorway is between the two. And yeah, let's get into it. So to begin the video, we have to talk about sizing. I've watched a few videos on New Balance 1890. I feel like people have their sizing kind of all over the place. So I'm going to give you guys my personal experience of what I would recommend. But once again, everyone's foot's different, so take it with a grain of salt. But for sizing, I personally recommend you go true to size. When I was watching some reviews on the New Balance 1890, everyone pretty much said they ran long, which I didn't find necessarily to be true. I will say I do have a little bit of room in the toe box area. However, it's nothing too crazy. For reference, I personally always go down in my 990 series. I wear a size 10. But in these, I got a 10.5. And when I was at the New Balance outlet in Orlando, I did try on a 10.5 in the 990 V6. And I had way too much toe room in those. Way more than I did in these. Personally, I would go true to size. And also, these are a little bit narrower in the midfoot area. So you definitely want that little bit of extra room. In my personal opinion, if I would have went a half size down in these, I think they would have been too tight and they would have been uncomfortable. Once again, this is just my personal experience, but for me, I would go true to size. You should be good. If you're curious, the Cyborg Tears colorway fits exactly the same as the Hornet Tusk. Once again, true to size in these. Next big question is, how is the comfort on New Balance 1890? I'm really only going to speak on the Hornet Tusk pair here because I wore that one the most. Extremely comfortable. Starting with this upper. Of all the New Balance shoes in my closet, that includes 990s, 991s, 992s, 993s. I honestly feel the 1890, this Hornet Tusk colorway, is the most comfortable upper in my New Balance collection. Something about this mesh and this leather just feels amazing on foot. When you're wearing these, the leather and the mesh just kind of mold your foot as you wear them, which feels really, really good. And overall, it's just super comfortable. I wore these to Disney, wore these to Universal, had no issues wearing them. And I also brought my 990 V2s and my 992s on the trip as well, which honestly, those shoes would have been fine. But I think the fact that these are just so breathable and lightweight, I chose to wear these more often on the trip. And I really wanted to test these out. They definitely passed the comfort test at Disney. This absorbed midsole, really, really comfortable, really, really soft. It's not heavily cushioned. It's not going to be like a 990 V6 or like an Adidas Evo SL. But I think at the same time, it's just a really smooth ride. And it never like flattens out. Sometimes if you wear those like super cushiony shoes for a long time, they kind of start to flatten out after like 8 hours of wear. But for these, same stable ride the whole way. And once again, I cannot emphasize this enough. Just a super comfortable shoe. I don't know if it's going to beat the 990 V4 for me. I think the 990 V4 is probably my favorite New Balance silhouette in terms of comfort. However, these are really close. These kind of feel very similar to those. So if you have a New Balance 990 before, you can kind of expect some similarities. So yeah, I definitely recommend these in terms of comfort if you're going to walk around somewhere. I haven't really ran in these, so I personally wouldn't recommend them for running. But just from a walking aspect, going out and doing lifestyle activities, definitely recommend the New Balance 1890. So I think when these first came out, the big thing that really turned people off about them was the price point. I was actually one of those people that I thought this was going to be a $160 shoe. Well, when they came out, they were $200. They were actually $210 on Bronson's site, so they were $10 more. For example, I got these on the New Balance website for $200, and I got these on Bronson's site for $210. These also came out on New Balance's site for $200. So I don't know why there was a $10 increase on the Bronson site and not the New Balance site. Also on the New Balance site, you got free shipping, so that was kind of super confusing that Bronson would be charging $10 more plus the shipping. Makes no sense, and honestly, I feel like they kind of got to get that figured out, because if you buy it on Bronson's site, you have to pay for shipping. But then if you would have just waited a week, you could have got these on New Balance, $10 cheaper and free shipping. So essentially, you would have saved yourself around like $25, which is not crazy, but it definitely adds up. Are these worth the $200 price point? Honestly, I'm actually going to say yes this time, because once again, I loved wearing these. A super comfortable shoe like this, you're going to want to wear it. And when you wear a shoe all the time, I definitely think it's worth the retail price. I will say the GR colorways coming out are $180. And I think that's definitely a better price point for this sneaker. I do think it's funny that the Cool Gray 5s released yesterday, and those have 1990s tech in them. And this right here is updated tech. Those Cool Gray 5s retail at $220. And no one batted an eye. Those sold out instantly. So I don't know why Jordan Brand gets a pass for these high retails. But yet a shoe like New Balance at $1890, everyone kind of complains about it when this shoe is $200. Just because they kind of assume that this shoe should be $150. But once again, I do think they are worth the retail price. Especially if you go to the gym, you're active, you want something that's comfortable, you want to move around in. Definitely recommend checking these out. Pretty much going to do it for an updated review. I'll link these down below if you want to cop. There is a general release colorway dropping March 12th on the New Balance website. Personally, I think I'm good on the 1890. I got both the Bronson pairs. I don't really see myself picking up any of the GR colorways unless the colorway completely blows me out of the water and I have to pick it up. But yeah, that's going to be my updated review on the New Balance 1890. Hopefully you guys found this helpful. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.